Shwmai a croeso cynnes, and welcome to the What's Your Story podcast. I'm James Owen, a Welsh filmmaker and storyteller, and I'm passionate about sharing stories. This podcast is all about business owners sharing their journey, and we'll be speaking with directors, entrepreneurs and creatives from all across Wales to learn from their experiences. We believe everyone has a story to tell. What's your story? Shwmai, and welcome to episode 7 of the What's Your Story podcast. And I'm excited to have somebody from the creative industry this week. It is the master designer himself, Jac Elsey.
Master designer. I've never been called that before. I'll take it. I'll take it. First time.
Put that on your LinkedIn, mate. Put it on your Instagram bio.
It's going straight on there.
Going straight on. Oh, thank you, mate. Really appreciate you coming along.
No.
You were one of the first people that were on my list to have on the podcast. And that's actually
okay.
true. I'm not saying it for the cameras.
I hope not. It's recorded now.
It is recorded. No, I wanted to have you on here and talk about your personal journey in design. So in a sentence or two, if you could explain your current position, where you are in your design journey, that'd be great.
Yeah. My name's Jac Elsey. I'm a designer from Gysainen, just over the bridge from Llanelli. Currently at the Football Association of Wales as the sole designer. I'm still learning in many ways. I like to think it's good to be still learning, but it's exciting times for me at the minute. So
you work for Welsh football?
I do.
That's pretty cool. Do you like football?
I do. I actually love football. I used to be a Swansea season ticket holder, and I went to my first game when I was 3. So I've even got a tattoo to show it, but that's another story. So, love football as long as I remember. I just love everything to do with it. Love how it makes you feel. Love watching it. So
are you still a season ticket holder?
Not anymore. Simply because I couldn't commit to going to all the games. But I like to go whenever I can. I went to the last South Wales derby, and we won't talk too much about that. But
1-1 was it?
It was 1-1. Yeah, regrettably. But yeah.
Good. So big football fan. Where did it all start for you in terms of the love of football?
Just growing up, really. As I said, I went to my first game in the Vetchfield when I was, I think I was 3 years old. And just from there, just been brought up in a massive football family. So naturally, I've just fallen in love with it. Just going to the games, the atmosphere, seeing how it makes people feel. It's great, and there's not many feelings like it. So I am in a perfect job, really. So, just from going to the games with my father mainly and my brother, I just sort of went from there. So yeah, it's never really stopped.
When you were a kid, did you dream of being a footballer and playing for the Swans? Was that ever a dream?
I think if you grew up in Swansea and you didn't grow up wishing you played for Swansea, there's something wrong there. I grew up in the golden era of Swansea City, promoted from the Championship, winning the League Cup, those Premier League days. Oh God, I don't want to talk too much about it because I'll cry. But
do you think they'll get back there?
I hope so. I certainly hope so. I think it's on the horizon. It's on the horizon, but there's still a long way to go. So, but I'll be there. Yeah.
I can relate to that. I remember, watching the Scarlets, being a fan, me in the rugby world, but dreaming of one day playing for the Scarlets. I kind of nearly got there. I had my under 16s trials within the academy, but it's quite exciting watching some of the boys like Kieran Hardy, Dan Jones, Josh Adams, like all these boys who play for Wales. I played rugby with. It was pretty nuts when you see
that is mad, yeah.
People you've played with competing in sport, but I don't know if I could ever do it because it is hard work working in sport.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
and it's a short career.
Yeah, no, it is true. Like, on and off the field, it's a tough industry. I think it's very fast moving. All my jobs at the minute I've been in sport, and they're all sort of the same sort of environment, just really fast paced, unpredictable. But I think in a way that's what makes it really exciting and what makes it really enjoyable.
Because sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Yeah, sometimes you win very big, and then you lose quite drastically. So, and being a Swansea City fan, you're quite used to that. So,
being a Scarlets fan, you're quite used to that.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, well, I've experienced Scarlets firsthand because that's when my first design job was.
Yeah,
my first full-time design role.
That's where we met, which was pretty cool.
It is where we met. Yeah,
we're getting ahead of the game here. I want to let's understand the sort of business and the career journey to date. So, when it came to design, I mean, it's quite clear you've got a track record of designing in sports.
Yes,
which is good.
Yeah,
you've got that sort of expertise, that knowledge, which I'm sure is going to help you in the future in your freelance business for sure. But it was never always football. So where did that design or the love of design first start?
Well, as I said, just growing up, just watching Swansea City, really. It all started from just falling in love with the sport. And then from there, I just used to pick up the programs and have a flick through, not really watch the games. It just sort of went from there. I just started getting obsessed with how things looked. When Swansea would upload like social media graphics and stuff, I would always have a look and always be excited to see the next one. Just from there really. But I was also a keen kickboxer as well, where I started a Instagram page just doing designs really about all the top athletes in kickboxing, which got a lot of traction. I think I gained something like 1,000 followers in a month or something like that. It took off, and obviously kickboxing isn't actually a massive sport in the UK, believe it or not. It's not actually recognised legally as a sport, which a lot of people don't know. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But it's on the up. But that's all another conversation. But yeah, just sort of went from there. I called it 10 Clear. I started making designs of all the top athletes, but it really sort of took off when I made a design of a fighter called Raymond Daniels. Don't know if you've heard of him. No. He did like this famous 720 punch thing. Went viral, but I made a design on it. And then
was he in the MMA or UFC?
So he transitioned from kickboxing to MMA, and I made a design on him, and it blew up a bit. And yeah, I kept refreshing my Instagram feed, and it just kept going up and up and up. It was crazy.
And how old are you when you created this page?
16, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. So I created it when I was 16. I did it up until I was about 18 when sort of life took over. Yeah, I was posting like every single day. I just fell in love with it. Just combining design with what I'm passionate about. That's why it sort of really took off for me, I think. That's why I sort of found my feet in sport design as well.
And you were competing in kickboxing?
I was, competing. So I was competing from about 10 years old and up until I was about 18. Been over Europe, Italy being my favorite one. That was cool. Was a keen kickboxer. So my whole life just revolved around it basically. Just from actually competing to actually just doing all those designs on the 10 Clear page. So yeah, it was kind of fun time when I didn't have any responsibilities.
Nice. We were doing all that for fun, right?
Yeah, literally just for fun. Yeah, it's because it's what I really enjoyed. As I said, like combining two of my favorite things. I absolutely loved it. So yeah.
Good. Okay, so you come from competing in kickboxing. At this point, you're probably exploring design as a career.
Yeah.
So did you go and study in college?
Yeah. So following this whole Instagram page business, I enrolled into Gower College, where I studied IT, criminology, and graphic communication. Believe it or not, graphic communication I almost failed. was my
what?
It was my worst, by far my worst grade.
You're a successful designer and you did bad in graphic design.
Yeah, it was quite bad as well. I I remember my college lecturer pulling me aside. You need to seriously pull your socks up, mate. Like,
I hope you're watching.
But hey, look, I'm not doing too bad now,
Yeah.
so it can't be that bad.
That's good.
But yeah, managed to get into my first choice university based on my portfolio. Yeah, and that's where it sort of really took off me then. So yeah, I didn't enjoy college very much. Didn't enjoy my course, obviously. But
Well, you still passed. You still passed.
Yeah, I passed. By a very, very small margin, but we got there. So
Good. Okay, so you got it. You got a place in university.
yeah.
Excellent. And what was that course you studied?
So I studied BA Honours Graphic Design in the University of Wales, Trinity St David. Mouthful.
Yeah, I'm a grad from there.
Nice. Yeah, great uni. Really enjoyed my time there.
And you were in Swansea.
I did, yes. Went to Swansea in the Duneva campus. Yeah, oh God, such a lovely time there. You enjoy?
Oh, well, do you know what? Well, actually, so you graduated when?
2023.
2023. Okay. My second year was during lockdown. So that wasn't brilliant.
Yeah.
Mainly because, the world shut down, right? That was obviously a bit of a bad thing. But one of the things I just really didn't like was the online learning.
Yeah.
I just loved being in the classroom. At the time, I remember, my business was sort of taking off in its infancy my second year. I'd not long quit my part-time job and I was actually working full-time while studying.
Yeah.
And, it was quite exciting because the business was growing. I was doing that full-time while studying. But, I was on lectures, on Teams calls, but I wasn't actually there. I'm on a web browser doing something else based in business because I just felt there wasn't enough time in the day.
Yeah.
So for me, it was difficult. What is it? When I was in a classroom, out of the respect for the lecturer, I'd be in the room learning, writing notes. So for me, it was just really tough to actually just stay engaged in the classroom. But apart from lockdown, it was great. We had so much fun. I had to go, we went on an expedition to Scomer Island, and Olympus and Panasonic loaned us a load of kit and tens of thousands of pounds worth of kit.
Lovely.
Just play around with. And it was quite cool because I had like these amazing photos of these puffins in Scomer Island. And I think now I would struggle to get the quality based on the sort of lenses and cameras I had just like for free to loan to use. So stuff like that. And there's lots of other exciting stuff I did. But it was a good time. I had a laugh and I learned something from it. It helped me get to where I am today. Because a lot of people ask me, do you regret going to university? And I don't regret it one bit. Because I think if I didn't go to university, I'd probably still, in some capacity, have a business like this, like Stori Cymru. I think it's helped me get to where I am today quicker.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm very grateful. And my lecturers are Brett Aggersberg, Dr. Brett Aggersberg, Dr. Matt Jones. They were flipping legends. Just gave me so much support. And writing, okay, I'll give you one example. Writing, when I was in university, it was really poor, right? My essays, I was failing or just about scraping a pass my essays. And like Matt, he taught me how to write. And now, I don't write these days in business like an essay, but actually that writing, I remember getting in my second, third year, I was getting firsts in my essays, but teaching me about referencing and just the style of writing, well, it does come in handy now because I have to write scripts. I have to write story outlines and all those things, which I wouldn't think, I'm not a script writer. But if you're going to make a film, or you're going to make a short film or a documentary or a promo, you need to have some level of writing
exactly,
skills. So, it was great. But it certainly taught me a lot. So I'm glad I went. But so you graduated.
I did,
But you had a pretty cool experience in your second year where you landed a job.
I did, yeah. So, weirdly, the advertisement for the graphic designer role at Scarlets Rugby came up in my
Scarlets.
It's keen supporter, are you?
I am. I can't shout it too loud because if you're listening in the car, I'm going to blow your ears off. But love the Scarlets.
I've heard that chant far too many times. But yeah,
Come on, Scarlets.
Oh God! If I had a quid for every time I heard that, I wouldn't need to work anymore. But,
How many times have you sung Sosbon Bar?
No comment.
No comment.
No comment. More than I'd like. But yeah, so I saw it on Facebook just come up, and I applied. Literally, just I'd be in like a kid in uni. Just see what happens. Never know. Completely forgot about it. Like a week or two later, and then 3 months down the line, I get an email off someone called Jac Elsey, who was the marketing manager at the time. Jac Elsey.
Now works for Cardiff City.
Now Cardiff City. I hope he's watching this.
I hope he's still there. Are you still there?
I heard he is.
Yeah,
but he emailed me then saying, sorry, we haven't got back to you. There's been a bit of a personnel change. So all these emails have been lost. Would you want to come in for an interview? I was like, oh my God. I was 19 years old and about to get a sport design job. This is huge for me, Well, I wasn't about to get it, but hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went for the interview. It's more just see like who I am as a person, really. Got past that one, so apparently I was deemed an okay person.
Good.
And then the second round then was more about like my work, what I'm capable of, and I had to make a design pitch to brand the 150th year of the Scarlets, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that. There was what's the word? A mishap, let's call it.
Okay.
In the middle where my hard drive crashed. It completely just went kaput. And this was 3 days before my interview. And oh my God, I was
bloody hell. What happened? What did you do?
So I
started again.
Yeah, I had to just completely start again. But I think my second version was a lot better than my first. So
that's good.
Yes, but
thankfully the hard drive died.
Yeah. I'm really glad all my work was lost. I'm really glad.
I'm guessing there's lots of other work.
Yes, there was. Yeah, there wasn't just the pitch, but that was the thing I was most concerned about. But I'd been preparing this for about a week now. I was like getting to this stage of just like learning how to present it. And all of a sudden, I just lost everything. Yeah, I was inconsolable. But luckily, I reached out and I said, "This is the situation. I am so incredibly sorry. Is there a chance I could move my interview to a couple of days later?" And James was very open, to be fair to him, and he said,
"Wow!"
And he said, "Yeah, absolutely, no worries." I made sure to show all the proof I could just to make sure he knew that I wasn't just dipping out. But he said yes, and then I managed to pitch, and it went well, and I got the job. So
amazing.
Yeah, so that was when I was 19, I think, my second year of uni.
That's pretty cool. But when you were in this process, you're like mega stressed. You've lost all your work.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been there. I've been a victim of ransomware. It is not nice when you can't access your data, whether it's a fault of your own or a mistake or equipment breaking. But it's interesting that you chose to be honest with James, because actually by being honest and just saying, look, here's the situation, that got the better of you, because you could have decided, I don't know, you could have just thought, oh, do you know what? I won't talk to them. They're not going to give me an option.
Yeah.
And you might have done, a pretty terrible job in your interview.
Well, yeah, I could have just like put something together in 3 days that would have inevitably been terrible. But yeah, I chose to be honest and put in a good effort into the pitch instead. But it paid off.
It pays to talk, man.
Yeah. Honesty is best policy. So
honesty is the best policy.
Yeah,
that's something I always say.
Yeah.
It's good to communicate with clients, even in bad situations. Like I've been there over the years. You've messed up on a job, something's happened, and it's just so much better to come clean. It feels terrible.
Yeah. Oh, it does.
It is the best thing.
It does. Yeah, and like every corner of your brain just want to say, just make up something that sounds better. But if you're honest, they'll respect you more at the end of the day.
My dog broke my hard drive, or or other excuses.
My dog ate my hard drive. Yeah.
Car ran over my hard drive. Okay. So you got a job in the Scarlets, which you probably wouldn't have envisaged growing up because you're a football fan.
I am. Before the Scarlets, I had never ever watched a full game of rugby in my life. And there I was working in it. So
what was it like for you being a football fan to then work in rugby, in a sport that you have no, maybe, or in all honesty, interest in?
Yeah.
You've never watched a game, right?
Yeah, well, I think since Scarlets, I have gained interest in it for obvious reasons. But yeah, it was, I've been asked this quite a few times actually. But the thing is with design, I think sport design translates into a lot of sports. So if you're a sports designer, full stop, then you can sort of do it in any sort of sport, really. It follows the same sort of principles. So yeah, I still absolutely, I love my time there. I still work with them now, which is good. And it was a different, I still don't understand the rules, if I'm being honest. I don't know what I don't get it. I never will, but that didn't really matter for what I was doing. So so.
And then you somehow landed a dream job working in Welsh football.
I did, yeah. So about 3 months, I think, after I graduated, I went officially full time with the Scarlets. Again, such a great time. Really lovely people. But there was the need to move on, I think. So I saw the position open up for graphic designer at the Football Association of Wales. I had about 12 plus people send it to me on LinkedIn, if minimum. And yeah, I went for it.
Anyone from Lacha Football Club send it to you?
A couple, actually. yeah, couple. But so I managed to get an interview. I passed the CV stage. First was a Teams interview. And then about a week to a couple of weeks later, I went for an in-person interview up to their HQ in Hensall, where I work now. And yeah, I met them all. It was quite intimidating actually, because it was like only the second proper interview I've ever really done. But
to this point, you've had one job through your studies in design.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's
much,
you haven't had a lot of experience in
not really.
feeling and learning from interview processes.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. So yeah, not really. But yeah, I'm here now, so I can't have done that bad.
Did you have to do a presentation or a concept or anything?
So similar to Scarlets, I had to make a pitch, but to rebrand the Cymru Premier, the top flight of Welsh football. And yeah, it was successful. Some of the ideas they weren't too keen on, and that was made known after.
A few wild cards in there.
Yeah, a few wild cards. I went a bit mad, but designer's going to design, and they so. But yeah, it went well, and yeah, I was offered the position, luckily. So
did they phone you? Did they email you?
So it was an email, just randomly, just doing a random. I think it was a random Thursday in Scarlets. They just said, here's your offer and your employment contract. So that was that. And
how did you feel?
I couldn't believe it, really. It didn't really sink in. Like, I can't believe I was going to be the designer of Welsh international football. Like, it's crazy. Like, you've grown up watching all these people, and now I walk past them in HQ like most days. So yeah, it's crazy. It is really, I still can't believe it now, just talking about it.
It is nuts.
Yeah, obviously I'm still fairly new to the role. I'm only like 4 months in, but yeah, it is wild, and like it's everything I dreamed it to be. So
I remember when you were working at Scarlets, and you know we were chatting about design. You were like, football.
Yeah,
you'd love to work in football. And I thought, oh, well, I've done a bit of work for Cardiff City. You've got a bit of an in you. Maybe you can put a good word in with James, maybe. But, Cardiff, Swansea, Wales.
Yeah.
The fact you got a job with the Welsh football team, unless you're going to work for, I don't know, FIFA with the World Cup or something. But even then, they've got agencies actually, haven't they? So
no, to be fair, a lot of FIFA and UEFA, I believe, are in-house now. They use agencies for big projects that they just simply just don't have the resource for, the time for. But yeah, that's I do know a couple of designers in Switzerland actually for FIFA.
wow.
But yeah, that sounds like a very cool place. Very cool headquarters as well. If you ever get a Google, very
Nice.
cool, very cool.
Wales will do for now.
It will do. Hence, all suits me at the minute. So
Good,
yeah.
amazing, mate. Fair play to see you go from literally being a junior grad working in rugby to then working in a dream sport. It's
yeah.
hell of a thing to do, mate. And you're still quite young.
Yeah, no. I feel like I'm getting old. My back certainly feels it. But
how old are you now?
22. Yeah, no, too old for me. But yeah, I imagine I look a lot different as well to when we first met, James.
Yeah, I think you were this maybe spotty teenager.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, you could say it. You could say it. I was a spotty teenager. Yeah. Yeah, probably about 30 kilos lighter as well. That's still another story. So
yeah, that must have been 2021,
22, I think. 2022.
22.
Yeah.
Okay, that was good fun. Yeah, there's some cool stuff.
Yeah.
There's some cool stuff for the Scarlets back in the day.
Yeah. I remember.
When they had some money. maybe they'll get some more money soon. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Anyone from Saudi Arabia is watching. Then yeah, you know where to go.
Yeah, let's get a good sponsor in. That'll be good. Great. So yeah, design. You've ended up in your dream job, and just recently you were telling me about going to your first ever match as an employee.
Yeah, that was
FAW.
That was crazy. Like I went to a couple women's national team matches before that in Paga Scarlets actually. So after all that, I returned to Paga Scarlets, which was quite funny. But yeah, that was surreal. Just seeing like the whole UEFA sort of operation just sort of in action. That was really cool to witness. And seeing all my and just being able to use the FAW logo, really, just saying, being able to use that in my design because I'm doing it for them. It's such a cool experience. Like I can't even put words to it, but yeah, it was really cool. But then, yeah, I went to my first men's national game the other day against Turkey.
Did they win?
Drew 0-0.
Oh, again.
So yeah. But honestly, great start to Bellamy's campaign. I'm very excited.
Oh yeah, Craig Bellamy. Yeah, I forgot he's the new manager.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, he's a really nice guy. So he's so interested as well, actually, his whole career.
Played for Cardiff City, didn't he?
He did.
And Liverpool? Did he play for Liverpool?
Liverpool, Man City, Newcastle. Yeah,
wow,
all of those. Yeah.
I realise so many.
Tour de EFL. But,
okay, so he got a draw in his first game.
Yeah, very, very good performance. Actually, played some really fluid football. A lot more creative than what we were seeing before. Yeah, just overall, it was a great experience. And hearing the anthem for a full Cardiff City Stadium, you simply just can't compare it to anything else. Really, it gives you goosebumps every time.
And what was it like seeing? I've been filming in Cardiff City before on the big screen, seeing like your designs on the TV.
It was so cool. Like I met with Dale, who is the digital manager at the stadium, and yeah, he sort of taught me through the whole process, and I was making sort of slide designs with my manager Julie, and just slowly seeing the new brand as well for the men's national team come to life. Just slowly in those sort of slides I'm doing, the artboard was wild. But yeah, just seeing all of those sort of come into play on the big screen was nuts. Weirdly, I got a text off, which I never thought I'd ever receive in my life, off someone, Nick, who works in the domestic department at the FAW, saying, not sure if anyone else is ever going to say this to you. I'm not sure I will ever say it again. That is the nicest substitution graphic I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, wow. To be fair, I was quite proud of it. Yeah. I was very proud of it. It did look cool. So, what
a quote.
Yeah.
The best subs graphic ever.
The best subs graphic ever. That's my legacy at the FAW right there.
So you got a big benchmark now for your next subs graphic.
It's got to be even better. But yeah, the whole process of just designing those and like seeing how they become operational with Dale at Cardiff City is such a cool experience. And like, it's the stuff you don't really see or think about when doing all that. But yeah, it's just so.
Is there a lot of demand for the design in FAW?
Yeah, well, I think
do they keep you busy?
They do. Oh, they do. I think in any sport design job, you're going to be busy. As I said earlier, it's a very like fluid and fast-paced environment. You're going to be busy no matter where you are, and if you're not, there's definitely something you could be getting on with. As with most design roles, really.
Hey Jack, can we have a team sheet in 5 minutes?
Pretty much.
Like that?
It's not quite 5 minutes.
Okay.
But yeah, it's pretty rapid turnover. Yeah, it's so cool, and like depending on what stadium, you have to do stuff differently as well. So it's just seeing how it all works. Really, it's just really cool.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
So you've had a good couple of years working in sport, rugby, more recently football. You've got a bit of a passion, a little side hustle.
I do.
Thing you're trying to set up now because you want to explore design outside of sport.
I do, yeah. Like I've always been a sports designer primarily. That's just what I've always been like really passionate about. But like I feel like I can do a lot more, and I don't want to just be labeled as a sport designer. Well, that is what I am. That's what people know me for.
That's what I know you for.
Yeah. But I know I can do more. And with design, there are just countless of paths you can go down, and I'd love to go down a couple of more of them. So
do you think as a freelancer, being known as the sports guy, that's a disadvantage?
I wouldn't say it's a disadvantage. I feel like I specialize in sport for sure, like Photoshop composition and stuff like that. I feel like that's where my skills will like lie most, and I feel that's what I enjoy doing the most as well. But I do enjoy other things, and those are the things I don't really get to do. So that's why I love freelancing as well. I get to like experience like different companies, different sectors of the world, like
video production companies,
yeah, podcasts, yeah. I had a lot of fun with that one. But yeah, now I've got clients in Singapore, Japan, the USA,
wow,
and Milton Keynes. So.
Is that Red Bull?
It's not Red Bull. No.
They're in Milton Keynes, aren't
they? Somewhere around there. Oh yeah. Fascinating place, Milton Keynes. But,
where do you find all these people?
Well, the Milton Keynes one was a Scarlets fan, and he found the person that was doing all the designs, and he reached out, and now he's a very loyal client of mine.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Very cool, and he's a really nice guy as well. Shout out to Mark. But yeah, like he obviously he's quite a big company in the geological sector, so he does like jobs in Singapore and Japan, like I mentioned, and he's got like subsidiaries there, so I do work for those as well. Yeah, it's just it feels cool being able to experience the world as well. That sounds so like cliche, but you do experience a lot of culture and stuff through design, which I absolutely love doing. And obviously my home culture, the Welsh culture, like experiencing that firsthand in football is crazy. So yeah.
So you'll never not be known as the sport designer.
No, I wouldn't want to be not known as a sport designer, because that's what I love doing. But I know I'm capable of more, which is why I'm setting up a business which may have launched by the time this episode goes out.
Amazing.
It's a website agency, design and management agency.
Okay.
With my brother, who is a keen web developer, Harold. If you're watching, I only call him Harold when he's misbehaving.
What do you got? Is he Harry?
Harry, he is. Harry. Yeah.
Harold.
Spelt the English way, unfortunately. But yeah, I know. Got in a.
Okay, so you're going into business with your brother?
Yes, yeah. Well, I feel I've already like been like a sort of a business person anyway. I quite like the idea of business. Obviously, I've been running my own like sort of freelance business now for a while. And yeah, I just think it's just sort of time to take the step and make that jump up, you know. So I'm no person to do it better with my brother. So yeah, so he's recently graduated. He's now a web developer for an energy solutions company in Swansea. But he said he wants to get out there, you know, and really start his stuff in the world of web developing. So yeah, so the idea is I'm going to do all the design and all the the conversation with clients and working with them and on what they'd want, all the specifications. Then he'd go away and in his own language just write all the code and make it work basically.
Nice.
So yeah, and me and my brother have quite a good relationship anyway. So I think when he graduated, it was only natural we like combined forces and did something. So yeah, here we are. So by the 23rd of September, that's when the launch date is. That's when we hope. So
well, you're probably listening to this in October sometime. So
there we go.
You can go and check it out.
Elsey.design. Just type into the URL, you'll be there. So
that's the brand, Elsey Design.
It's just Elsey at the minute. Yeah. I feel like it's the family name, so it's quite it's quite unique as well. I think Elsey. I don't really know many people that I'm not related to with the name Elsey, so it was just
John Elsey.
John Elsey.
You know him?
I don't.
He plays for Cardiff.
No.
Yeah.
John Elsey plays for Cardiff now.
I'm joking.
Oh my god, this guy. Honestly, this guy.
Okay, Elsey is quite a unique.
Has his own podcast. Thinks he's cheese now. I tell you what. I tell you what.
Nice family name. I like it. So is that going to coincide? Because are you still going to do your freelance stuff?
Yeah. Well, I hope to gain like more like my freelance clients just doing design. Obviously, my brother would only be working with me like in the UX and the UI web design side of things. But yeah, I'd love to just branch out and gain more freelance clients really. And the ultimate goal is I'd love to have my own sport design agency. Because it's a niche that's not really in the UK at the minute. There are many competitors, like 50 being one. Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah, I've seen that stuff.
Yeah, really good stuff.
Did they do the World Cup?
They did, yeah, and they've done the United Rugby Championship as well. A lot of their stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really.
Also, as mentioned earlier, if you went to like go, if Wales in football is here, the next progression would be UEFA or FIFA.
Yeah, well,
but to my understanding, there was or certainly World Cup campaigns and things. The agencies do that work, isn't it? But you're saying that there are still people in house that.
Yeah. No, there are still definitely people in house. But I know like production companies take a lot of freelancers to do like reactive design work. So like for example, Beck Scrimble, one of my favorite designers. She's English and she was hired for the World Cup. That was, oh my God, that looked absolutely brilliant. Just being a designer working for the BBC, who she was hired for as a part of the campaign, that just looks absolutely brilliant, But yeah, so that's the ultimate goal, is just to be one of those constant names that people want to chip in for, and have that doing their campaigns. But
and what sort of operation is 50?
Well, they're quite a large agency in London, based in Canary Wharf. And yeah, I think they do a lot of like organizations, not so much clubs and like domestically, because you rarely get agencies doing stuff for clubs these days, unless they're like one-off campaigns and stuff like that. They'll have a lot of in-house resource mainly. But so like they do stuff for the URC, the World Cup, FIFA, all those like top organizations. And I'd love to be maybe like lead-in campaigns for like those sort of companies, that'd be absolutely great. Like there's a niche in Wales that's not been discovered yet. It's a particular sport design agency in Wales. I feel like it could, if I started it, it'd get some real traction, So that's the ultimate goal one day, to be in a position to do that. So
what are you going to call that? Elsey?
Oh God, I think that'd be old by then. Who knows? Sport Cymru? I feel that's a bit. I don't know. Who knows? We'll soon see.
Stori Sport. We could
Stori
collab.
Sport. That'd be nice.
I'll get you some customers you can design.
As long as I get a free mug, that's fine.
I'll throw in a free mug.
Oh, lovely stuff. But like, there's an agency in Australia that's doing a similar sort of thing in a minute. Sport Design Australia, they're simply called. Really, really talented people. They're growing like immeasurably, and I love seeing their stuff. They do stuff for the Australian national women's team. Out of this world.
Well, in Wales, there is a need for design in sports.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially in domestics. Like, I mean, I hired you to do stuff for Swansea Rugby Club.
I did.
And all the boys now love seeing their faces plastered on social media.
It makes a difference. It really does make a difference.
It does make a difference because, for us, Furness Rugby Club don't pay players. There are rugby clubs in South West Wales that do pay players.
Same with football.
In cash. They declare that they don't, but they do. So, it's quite shady. And, but as a club, we don't pay your players because that's what we declared to the WIU. We simply play for the love of rugby. It's difficult in rugby now. When you get to Division 2, Division 1, the expectation is to get paid because all the other teams pay players.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult because with that in mind, there's not a huge budget for design.
Yeah.
So I paid you out of my money for the club.
Thank you.
So that's okay. I'm not saying that to quote, right? But if I ask the club, can we pay Jack a couple of £100 to design a new program and to do this?
Absolutely
no
not.
chance. That's not happening.
Not a chance.
It wouldn't
not
happen.
A chance. Yeah,
but
no.
if you think of all the football clubs, the rugby clubs, the kickboxing clubs, you think of how
so much potential.
How rubbish maybe some of the brands are, designs, and what it could look like.
Yeah, I've had my fair share of looking in the domestic space. It is dire, to say the least. But there are movements that are they're sort of appearing now of where clubs do want to improve their social media sort of design, and I think it's great. It makes more difference than anyone ever really knows. But obviously, if you can't pay your players, I think the least that you're worrying about is making pretty graphics at the end of the day. So, which is fair enough. But I've just finished a commission for Roslyn Park in London. They run all the national sevens tournaments.
When I was in Stori, I actually played
for
Roslyn in the Roslyn Park Sevens.
Yeah, it's
prop playing in a sense. But I was a little bit faster then. But that was good fun. Roslyn Park, that's pretty cool, mate.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. I've just branded their brand new tournament as well, the University Sevens, which it's crazy. But the National School Sevens had it was the biggest one ever. It was the 15,000 people, I think. It's absolutely, it was crazy. And to be a part of that was really cool. As I said, I'm from a football background, so I didn't really have, when they contacted me, I didn't really have a clue where they were. I gotta be honest. But now I do.
You didn't tell them that, did you?
No, God, no. Oh, I've heard all about you. Yeah. No, I'm very educated on them now. I'm going to see my first game with them actually next month. So, this month, maybe watching. But
Good.
But yeah.
Exciting. So next, the dream is to have this sports agency in Wales helping, supporting people in Wales, and beyond, hopefully.
Hopefully so, yeah, definitely.
Good,
yeah.
Well done. As we close, mate, I want to ask you, this is the What's Your Story podcast. So today we've heard about your personal story in design, in sport, and I'd love to hear, who would you like to hear? Whose story would you like to hear? If you were sat here in front of somebody very influential, inspirational in your world, whose story would you love to hear?
Dean Davis. Full stop.
Full stop.
Full stop.
I don't know who Dean Davis is, so please tell me, who is Dean?
So Dean Davis is a designer from Swansea, like me. Very, very experienced in the sports world. I think that's pretty much all he's ever done as well, to my knowledge. But yeah, he's currently working for an agency based in London now called Two Circles. Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah, Two Circles.
Yeah. So a huge agency. They cover the Premier League, Wimbledon, all these massive tournaments. And he's a senior designer there, so he sort of leads the way really. And seeing all this stuff, I love his style. I tell you what, I could go on, but yeah, I'd love to hear what he'd have to say. So
that's cool. So there is some good that's come out of Swansea then.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Two designers and a Premier League campaign.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, Dean Davis for sure.
Cool. Okay. Well, Dean, if you're watching, get in touch with Jack. As we close then, if anyone wants to reach out to you, they want to work with you in a design aspect, how's best to get in touch?
In a professional sense, just chuck me an email. Jac, J-A-C, no K, at elsey.design, or simply just reach out to me on LinkedIn. Everyone has a preference of the way they want to work, so I'm really open. Just there's multiple ways of contacting me, so you'll be able to find them.
But Jac with a C.
Jac with a C at
Welsh Jac.
At lc.design is my main email. So yeah.
Awesome, cool. I'm sure we can help the viewers and the listeners with the details for that. Jac, thank you for coming on.
No.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank
You know, as I said, you were one of the first people that I wanted to get on the podcast when I was thinking about this. And it was actually inspired by the book you did when you were studying.
Yes,
you did that. Remind me, what was that project?
So it was called The Ethanol Theory, and it was an infographic book really about how parental alcoholism affects children. It's always a topic I've been fascinated by, and I myself have never touched a drop of alcohol. And obviously I see how it affects everyone else. So I've sort of just been in this bubble really, like my whole life, just seeing how different people can be. Just do it when they're drunk, basically. So it's just a book about all that.
I remember meeting you for the first time in person.
Yes,
I think it was in Starbucks.
Yeah,
in
it was. Yeah,
on your lunch break when you were in.
It was.
In
yeah. When I was, when I was very strict with myself. Yeah.
Yeah. It was on his lunch break. Okay.
It was. James. It was on my lunch break. I promise.
But you showing me this little project, and I was like, wow, that was. Because what you did was illustrate this idea so beautifully, and you know, for me, I've been impacted by alcoholism in the family.
Yeah.
So the fact you were had that sort of struggle in your family, like that we instantly connected.
Yeah. I feel like we hit it off straight away, really, didn't we? And we're both creatives as well. Came from similar backgrounds, it was quite natural.
Different sides of the bridge.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
and different shaped balls.
And you're on the wrong side. So,
I'm on the wrong side.
It's to date, it's one of my favorite projects I've ever done, and luckily I got an award as well, which is pretty cool.
Amazing.
Yeah. This was around the time I graduated. I think it won a Creative Conscience Gold Award, so it was pretty cool.
Well done. Thanks for coming over to see me. Really appreciate it. And to see you go from being a junior designer,
spotty teenager,
to work for the Scarlets is I think one achievement. But to be saying you work for the Football Association of Wales is a huge achievement, and you should be very proud of that, mate. So
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me.
No problem.
Been a pleasure.
Diolch yn fawr.
Diolch yn fawr.